Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of coding challenge. This time around with Leetcode 1672, the richest customer worth. Today we're going to be solving the richest customer worth, and if you're new to this channel, it's a channel that teaches new developers how to code, especially by showing them how the thinking process is done so that they can see how the solution comes to life. So let's get to read this. You are given an array, an m by m integer grid. It's a matrix actually. Grid, it's called accounts, where accounts I of j is the amount of money the ith customer has with the J bank. Return the worth that the richest customer has. Basically, let's look from example without reading the rest of the story. This is an array of array. Now the first sub array corresponds to the first customer who has three bank accounts if you want. Now the sum of the bank accounts money inside is 6. The second customer also has 6, so there is no greatest bank account. All of them both have 6, so we just return 6. This is the second example. This represents 3 customers. The first customer has 6 euros or dollars if you want. The second has 10. The third has 8. So who has the highest? The person with the 10 has the highest money in the account. Now let's get to the third scenario. There are 3 clients. The first one has 2 plus 8 plus 7, which is 17. This one has 11, and this has 15. So 17 is obviously the highest bank account, so that's why we display 17. You get the logic. So what do we have to do? Basically, we have to do a sum of the greatest. We have to do a sum of the individual bank accounts of the clients, and then we get the maximum if you want. Now the scenario I'm going to use is I'm going to create a value maximum which is going to have the maximum, but in the beginning we don't know, so I'm going to put 0, and then I'm going to loop through using a for each client. So on each client, remember each client is the sub array, right? So let the client array of the accounts, or let me just say account of accounts. So there are different accounts, but each account here corresponds to a client. Oh, let's say client account. I think that's better. Right. For each client account of the accounts, what do? I'm going to do a sum of all the money he has. I can use the reduce function. So let's just say this is the client sum, will be the client's account dot reduce yeah. Now this is the sum and the money that's inside if you want. Right, so you can use a for loop to do the sum. I'm just using the reduce function, which is a little bit faster. I'm going to return everything that's inside. You can look at the reduce syntax on Google if you wish. So at this level, this is the first for loop. It returns at this level of the for loop. What do? We are actually looping through every client's accounts here and getting the individual sums that make up each client's total amount of money. Now when I've done that in the for loop, this is it. This is the first. So the for loop is going to do the sum. When I finish the sum, I do a comparison with the maximum to see. So inside maximum, I'm going to use something called the ternary operator. That is, I am going to compare if what's in the maximum is actually smaller than the client sum that we just did right now. If it's smaller, it means that client sum becomes the new grade. If not, we'll let max the way it is if you want. and then we do all this operation and put it inside max. At the end of the sum, we are going to return the max. So let's break it one more time. We are going to create our temporal array maximum that is going to have 0 in the beginning, and then we go to the first client here. That's the rule of the for loop. We sum everything, and then we compare the sum with the maximum. Now if the client's amount is greater than the maximum, then it becomes a new maximum. If not, maximum stays the way it is. At the end of the day, we return maximum. That's it. So I can run the code. There is an error. Yeah, it is the reduce function. Remember, this is the two braces opening. Now this first one is closed here, but the second one is not closed. It's supposed to be closed at line 10. Oh, sorry, I closed that, and we are good to go. Let's run again the code. Right, and let's submit. Right, that's great. Faster than 5%, which means this is not the fastest solution ever, but it's one of the most efficient in terms of memory. Right, we can do like a checkup of where do we do that? Probably solutions or discussions. Let's just look at the discussions to see what other people might have submitted. This is Java. Let's go to Python. That looks like JavaScript. Well, this one he actually did it's the same thing, just Python syntax. All right, one-liner JavaScript. This is just one-liner code. It's usually not easy to read. What can we check? This is using a for loop with reduce. Let's see. Okay, so we initiated our maximum to 0, so he decided that it will be the most the smallest number possible, that's minus infinity. And then this is a function that given an array returns the sum. So he does a function apart that takes in the sub arrays and returns the sum. So he now comes here and does a for loop on the bigger array. You know, remember there was a bigger array, and when you enter inside you have small arrays. So these small arrays, he does the sum using this add function he created above, and then he does the same comparison we did here and return the max. That's it, and returns the max. I think it's the same scenario. I don't know why this is faster than ours, and anyway, it's the same mindset. So I'm going to stop here for today, and thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe so that you can get notifications on new algorithms that will be coming in the future. Thanks for watching again.